Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video. Okay, I appreciate everything George Lucas created and elevated in the movie industry. I do. He invented things. I don't need to go into the whole biography. We all know. He invented new ways of making movies, new ways of innovating, changing the way credits are done, the whole deal. He did a lot of really amazing things, including his idea of midichlorians. At first, it was kind of off-putting, but looking back, it was a good idea. As the IP grows, you need a hard and fast rule that suggests it's a complex and exclusive club to become a Jedi or Force user. If everyone could do it, it would make the stories we know and love feel cheap and lesser than. On that note, let's listen to this clip.
Everyone has the Force in them, everyone. And there's two sides to the Force. The dark side, which is selfishness, and the light side, which is compassion. So we all struggle to keep these two things in balance, and hopefully we're able to move it a little bit more toward the bright side.
So the clip is fairly benign for the most part and is more of a sociological and psychological statement. Sure, we all struggle to do what's good, but we should do it. We shouldn't be selfish. The problem is he ties it to the Force, and this has made many people think just anyone can use the Force. Is that what he's truly saying? Maybe. I really don't know. But assuming that is what he means, that's actually a big problem. What this means is everyone in the galaxy is just lazy, because if they all worked hard, they could all be Jedi, which makes Order 66 pretty dumb too. I mean, what were Obi-Wan and Yoda doing for 20 years waiting for Luke to be the last hope? Obi-Wan could have grabbed a bunch of randoms and trained them. And if they took a long time because they had less midichlorians or whatever, they weren't as adept in the Force, who cares? He had nothing but time anyway. Same with Yoda. The original trilogy fixated exclusively on these select few Force users because it's an exclusive club. It's supposed to be. So this is a glaring plot hole that now occurs if we're going to say this. Why did these Jedi make this decision when it made no sense to make this decision? Because there's never a point where you lose. It also diminishes Revenge of the Sith. It diminishes the whole saga, because at any time you'd be like, well, nobody really loses because you can just grab a bunch of nobodies and rebuild the whole order again anyway, so who cares? So again, it's a big stupid problem to be doing this. George Lucas also brought in midichlorians, as I mentioned earlier, and he did that in part to explain the exclusivity. So this statement from him, if he does really mean like being able to use the Force, doesn't jive with that. I think it's entirely possible Filoni is trying to honor George Lucas with this new everyone can use the Force thing happening with Sabine and Ahsoka. I get that, but even George Lucas needs to be reined in sometimes. Not everything George Lucas says is absolutely perfect all the time. And people forget that George Lucas had many people helping with his decisions in the original trilogy. Even lines of dialogue were changed because Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher petitioned him to change them. His ex-wife edited out things she said wouldn't have been right to be in there. These were improvements. Now, what made George a really good filmmaker is he was open to other people's suggestions, and when he felt like they were making a better observation than he went with that. And that's a really good quality to have as a human being, but they were still there. And these were improvements. He had far fewer people in his ear during the production of the prequel trilogy. And, by then he was viewed as like this god. And so then you get some of these cringy lines of dialogue and cheesy things, R2 flying around, which breaks continuity, right? Because why didn't you do that in the OT? Things of that nature took place. So he needs people to rein him in a little bit, or he gets a little bit out of control. And so there was things in the PT that should have been changed or left out as well and would have made it a better trilogy. So this idea that everything George Lucas says is just automatically perfect is nonsense. And you can appreciate George Lucas and all he did with Star Wars and filmmaking overall without believing every single thing he said or has done is just perfect. Everyone having the Force opens up monster plot holes throughout the saga and simply cannot be the case if this IP is to maintain what little semblance of sensibility it has left. It just cannot be true. The questions are endless if that's true. Just imagine the questions that this would cause. Why were you seeking out specific Force users? Why when everything felt like it was over, why didn't you start again? You could use anybody. It just might take longer. On and on and on and on and on. So anyways, guys, so that's the issue I have. In this case, if this is what George Lucas is saying, he's wrong. He's wrong. It's not good for the IP. It's not good for the storytelling. It's not good for anybody. It's going to make it very difficult for the filmmakers to make it interesting. You need specific, exclusive traits for certain characters to elevate them to the audience, to make them more important. And if they don't have those traits, or in Rey's case, if they get those traits without ever having to earn them, it doesn't work. And it just becomes muddy and way too inclusive. And again, exclusivity is what drives important protagonists in stories, right? I mean, not everyone can do what Captain America can do. If everyone in the Captain America stories could do what he could do just with more training and more time and working on it, then who cares? This is dumb. So anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Feel free to check out any of my other content. I've got lots of stuff on Star Wars, some other stuff as well. My sequels, Star Wars sequels reimagined, really good story. Also, if you do like this content, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting. Thank you very much, and have a good day.